am now being joined by Professor Anthony Agbazuere as a human rights and constitutional lawyer, as well as a professor of laws. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Maybe I should just, congratulations to the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Kekere-Ekun. But why the skepticism about the Nigerian judiciary, particularly at the advent of democracy? During the military era, you had a very solid, standardized judiciary where it was like a philosopher judge that people there, particularly at the highest court, the Supreme Court, where you talk of the Oputas, you talk of the Eshors and others. Why the skepticism today?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I see it as a macro privilege, to be invited to talk about the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Maybe before I go into that, let me start from the issue you raised. You see, the society can only produce people like what that society is. One. And two, it is not correct to say that the courts or the judges or something did better during the military. Because, they will suspend even the constitution. It just decreased. So not much would have or could have happened during the military era. Coming back to our CJN, I think I congratulate her so much, not just on the appointment, not just for her 1 year in office, because of the fact that I could just tell you that she has brought extra quantum, of candor and finesse and reengineering into the judiciary. There is something that so many people do not know about her, and that's why it's good to do some research. She started as a lawyer, practiced as a lawyer, became a magistrate, became a high court judge, became a justice of the Court of Appeal, and then justice of the Supreme Court. She has seen it all. She knows what all the people in the judicial system are suffering, their problems. And that's why it's really been smooth for her now to flow, given again her courage. The first day she was screened by the Senate, November 25th, 2024. She told them openly that she is aware of the fact that there are challenges in the judiciary, but that she would, of course, she then promised that she would take that on head on. And that's really what she's been doing. And that is why every time she's addressing judges, she tells them about two basic things, integrity and fidelity. And again, she tries to tell them to try to be above partisanship and emotions. That the world is looking at this, one of these three organs of government, judiciary, looking at the judges as the basis, because it is how everybody, the poor masses, they say that the courts are the last hope of the judicial, the common man. Therefore, if you don't get it right at the court level, then there is a problem. Again, on judicial independence, of course, she has brought a lot of confidence back because of what she's been saying and telling judges openly. On judicial independence, look at what happened in Imo. There was almost like a problem. Somebody who wasn't the most senior was brought up as CJ. She stood her grounds and said no. Now, even at the NJC level,
and that lacuna still exists in Imo State, where they don't have
no, they have
judge.
No, it's done. No, it's done. They even issued the releases that they will abide by what the CJN and the NJC said. That is settled. Now and again, welfare of workers. A lot of people now, even some came back from China. Even there are workshops he's organizing. Talk about judiciary automation. Digitalizing everything, making things easy. For there to be quick dispensation of justice. She is really working. Under 1 year, the judge in Bayelsa State that was even kidnapped, she was on it. Following up the security people, IGP, the army, and so on always talking, and all of that. And then until that man got released, I also witnessed over the news when she met with the IGP, say, look, try and make sure you protect the judges all over. And then judges all over Nigeria are now being given extra policemen and so on. And you see, that is why, for me,
Professor,
remember, she's the second female to be a CJN in Nigeria, and the 5th female Supreme Court justice in Nigeria. I mean, if you look at people like Okoji, and look at her, you see that there are women who could really do so well. I commend her.
Yeah.
And I commend her.
Yes. So this regeneration of the Nigerian judiciary, the reforms that Justice Kekere-Ekun is bringing to the system, how has it been affecting the dispensation of justice in the country? If you look at it generally, we keep hearing of adjournment, no local standi, perpetual injunction, even though there have been pronouncements on some of this thing. The bar and the bench, how cooperative have they really been? 1 year with Justice Kekere-Ekun.
Thank you very much. Now, in the first place, even from the issue of revenue, only 1 year. The last time before she came, it was 4.something million, 4.8 million they got for the whole year. She got 347 million under 1 year. That is the revolution you're seeing. Then there are so many subcommittees now she has created. Even the ones that will keep records in the keep records in the archive, and then make filing of processes easier. A lot of it. And of course, to achieve quick dispensation of justice, she has also increased the money you will pay if you delay in filing, you, the lawyer, if you delay in bringing your processes, because sometimes people keep asking for adjournment. All these too many adjournments bring about, delay in the dispensation of justice. And she's doing everything. And again, like I said, the issue of welfare, she is making a lot of in fact, everybody happy. Lawyers are also comfortable, very happy. If you filed your case today, another person that filed his own maybe a month later will not come and get date before you. Judges now have to give these dates and so on, and people are happy. So that is why, even like I told you, she's doing all of this because, like the parlance people will say, somebody rising through the ranks. She has seen it all. She knows the problems of lawyers because she practiced as a lawyer. She knows the problems of magistrates. She was also a magistrate. She knows what the High Court judges are going through. She was a High Court judge. The justice of the Court of Appeal, she was also there, and then justice of the Supreme Court. And that's why it's marvelous.
Yes, she's at the apex.
Yes, at the apex, yes.
Yeah, but a lot of lawyers and concerned Nigerians are advocating for the decentralization of the judiciary system, particularly at the Supreme Court level, that not all cases should come to just one Supreme Court and the rest. Why can't we have it maybe zonally or regionally, or even at the state level, instead of, because of the years it will take to dispense a case. I've been in court, for example, for over 17 years now. Just a matter of plagiarism, and I'm still going to court.
Okay,
although at the highest level.
How many? 17 years?
Yeah, 17 years. I'm at the Supreme.
Maybe a land matter or something.
So no, not on plagiarism. Okay. So that's not subject of debate.
Okay, well,
so we're talking about decentralization of the judicial process. Is that something the CJN should be considering?
You see, the job of the judiciary vis-a-vis the CJN is interpret the laws. If you're talking about decentralizing the Supreme Court, you have to look at the Constitution. Look at the laws. There's only one Supreme Court provided for. It's not the job of the CJN. And that's also what the question you asked me now brings up what I have always been thinking. Even while the legislature is thinking about forming committees to amend some laws, there should be a synergy. There should be a synergy. There should be a committee that will involve both legislature, bring in some
inputs
from the judiciary and even from the executive, some of them, so that everybody will bring his or her own ideas, and then they will come together for us to arrive at them. You see, decentralization is not something therefore for them. But if you talk about, even when you talk about, of course, this other one now, not all cases coming to the Supreme Court. This is where the CJN can come in. Some cases could be made to stop at the Court of Appeal. That one is possible. But creating different Supreme Courts in Nigeria is just like the Nigeria police. You can't create state police without amending the law. So it boils down to the legislature doing their job, not just National Assembly. Don't forget, the Houses of Assemblies are involved. And that's also why, for me, I believe that even though it's a talk for another day, I believe that our constitution, not being autonomous, should be wished away, not just amendment. We have to have a clean one, but it's a talk that will belong for another day. Because if you look at all these problems, even if the National Assembly comes up with anything that has to do with amendment, if the governors don't accept and they control their House of Assemblies, you can't get it to thought. You can't amend it. It's a problem. That is what it is today in Nigeria, because that constitution is not people-centric. It is not autonomous. It didn't come from us. It was just presented to us by the army. So we don't have a constitution, per se, in quotes. And a lot of things that people do and think they can run away with it, where there are no punishments, sort of, is because of the way the constitution is couched. A lot of contradictions. And that's why I congratulate the CJN. Look at even the issue of local government autonomy that President Tinubu brought up through the executive, the Attorney General. They were quick because they see the need, and they saw that need, and they still see the need, for local governments to be autonomous, for people to be happy down the line. Pursuant to Section 7 of Nigerian Constitution that contemplates a democratically elected local government system, so it's hereby guaranteed. That's the provision there. So it's very, very important. And I'm also happy that Mr. President Tinubu did not flout the constitutional provisions in appointing the CJN, because they could have played some games. If you look at Section 231 of the Constitution, when there is the former person is no longer there, you get somebody on acting capacity. Yeah. After 3 months, if you don't confirm that person, you will reappoint the person, you get another person. Yeah. In that process, you can push somebody away and bring another person and all of that. So I also commend him. And I think the CJN is a blessing to the judiciary, the Nigerian nation, and all of us. Of the three organs of government, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, this one is one. She's the head of the judiciary and has done so well. Yes. Yeah.
And looking into a tenure, a kind of crystal ball, what are some of other reforms that you think she should be bringing into the Nigerian judiciary?
Yes, basically, this one that she has started, among so many things that she's already doing, this issue of digitizing the entire judiciary should, be concluded. She should go on with that, but don't also forget, that's also why I talk about this synergy. You see, where there a country where you don't have full electricity, it cannot work. So even the executive too should also take some steps to make sure that at least where the courts, where we have courts, even if it's solar, they should support the judiciary, the CJN, so that they can have.
The judiciary should make its budget and present.
Fine. They don't present budget. They present to the executive that will now go to the National Assembly.
Yeah, prepare their budget.
Very well. That. Very well. So if there's no synergy, if it's not approved, it's not approved. That's why they need to understand that the CJN, these are things now that she's pursuing. They should support her and then approve those things. It will be easy. And then the other one is this issue of welfare, which she has started very well. If you support, if you appreciate your workers, if you motivate your workers, they give you better, results. So I also commend that and urge her to continue doing that. Nigerians are grateful and happy with her. Yes.
So some critics, finally, before we let you go, some critics are quick to say that the Nigerian judiciary is over-politicized, you know, taking more political judgment here and there than really interpreting the law, leaving certain judgments hanging. And, you know, that's where maybe in that report you heard some spin doctors coming to the media to come and interpret and rest. How do you, see a reversal of this kind of tainting of the Nigerian judiciary?
You see, in the first place, two things. First, one, I told you earlier, those in the judiciary are Nigerians. If the society is polluted, you cannot get any segment that will not also see some people who are not too good. But there are also very good ones. That's number one. Number two, the issue of giving more attention to political cases. That's why people should read. And our Nigerian constitution is not too big. If you look at the Constitution of Nigeria, Section 285, subsection 7, says that all appeals on political cases must be concluded within 6 months. If not, whoever filed the appeal means you didn't file anything. So the moment that is the law, and the judiciary didn't make the law, is the legislature. So long as that is the law, they will jump into it and make sure they round off, they finish that case within that 6 months' time. You see why they do that? So, unless people are told, those who don't know, they'll say, they left other cases and they are now going for political cases. If they don't like it, let the lawmakers change. If they change it, but of course, don't forget, these political offices have tenure. And you cannot, if you have a tenure of 2 years or 4 years, you'll be in court for the whole 4 years when you didn't win. It should be rounded off in time so that the proper winner will take over. So I think with the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, the Honorable Justice Kekere-Ekun, I think we'll have a very promising judiciary. Yes.
Thank you so very much. And we'll continue to wish the CJN, Justice Kekere-Ekun, all the best as she continues to reform the Nigerian judiciary generally. And Professor Anthony Agbazuere, Professor of Laws, human rights activist and constitutional lawyer, for coming on Newsnight.
Thank you.